Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. You made it. You made it to Friday. How you feeling out there? Are you feeling good, good, good? In the neighborhood. How's your neighborhood? Tell me about your neighborhood. You have, with the state of the world today, there's a lot of places out there where, you either have like homeless all over the place or you have immigrants all over the place. What's the state of the world where you are, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you, it's really nice here in Florida. So as far as I know, I don't go into, I wouldn't say I don't go into it. I guess I don't go out and about all around so much. I mean, there could be spots here that are have some difficult times going on. I don't know what I'm talking about. Who the hell knows what I'm saying? Let me give a round of applause and just forget everything I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hey-o. But I do love you out there, each and every one of you individually as well as a group. That is the most important thing. And of course, I am Pete Palma. I am your user-friendly host. This is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, yo. Because that's the only way to go. So what are you doing out there today to create your own flow of quo, yo? Just let me know in the comments below. That's how we do it here on Operation Status Quo. So you can let me know the state of the world where you are. Hopefully you're having a beautiful day and there's not too much turmoil in your locale at this time. Although we do know that the world is a topsy-turvy place right now. We're going through many changes. So don't be surprised if things do occur. That's one of the reasons, honestly, when I was just saying all that, I got myself twisted up in my brain in the beginning. But, I guess because I was thinking one thing and trying to say another thing, but I'm so happy to be in Florida, quite honestly. Coming from the Philadelphia, New Jersey area, South Jersey area, I say to myself, oh my gosh, what a blessing. I'm in one of these states that is not like, over the top crazy the way these, what's going on with all these agendas and such, So, Florida is one of the states back in Texas and everything that's going back down there. So, when the country divides, because, at some point, I don't think we're all going to be one country anymore. I mean, how can it be, right? There's such a level of division, and some people want to live with their heads in the sand and continue to give their lives away to a system because they don't want to, use their power in any capacity. Obviously, we're going to have to divide into areas where people can live free and enjoy their life, and those who want to muddle about in the nonsense and be slaves, that's up to you, and you can go enjoy yourself somewhere else. So I look forward to these states seceding from the Union, and I'm glad to be in one of them that would do it. Yes! Hey-o. What a disgrace, right? I'm just to speak on this real quickly before I get into it today. Just to think about the state of our country, the United States of America, and, what it's supposed to represent, what it's supposed to be, this nation of freedom and democracy. And, and it's really just always been another space of where, they try to impose control on people and, the way they've done it surreptitiously over the years. And look at what's happening. Look at how our country's gotten to a point where, you can barely even know if the states are going to stay together or not, right? That's really crazy. If you're older, like I am a little bit, and you've lived through years, and you never would think it would even be a possibility anyway. Except for Texas. Texas has always been on the cusp, but see, they must be way ahead of the game. So they already knew it was coming like 40 years ago. So really crazy stuff out there. But that's why we have Operation Status Quo. This is why this is a fun place of joy and love. We don't want to get too crazy, and even though there's crazy things going on, we could talk about the crazy things, but we always remember that there's really nothing to take seriously because this life is merely a game, ladies and gentlemen. As crazy as it seems, as what I'm trying to say is chaotic, scary, whatever, it's really just a game. We're in these bodies for a short time to learn lessons, and the world is a playground, and all this stuff is going on for everybody to be where they need to be, and it's really a beautiful thing to see humanity changing in the way that it is and coming to a higher level of consciousness and questioning and challenging all the paradigms that have existed for so long that have kept us in a smaller space of thinking and really have limited our expansion capacity. But now we're on our way. We're on our way to a better place. Are you gonna be there? I'm gonna be there. Are you gonna be there? Hello, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Hey-o. Sorry about that. All right, today is the 2nd of February in the good year 2024, and today's program is entitled Hog of the Ground. That's it, because today is Groundhog Day, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a great time. It's a big festive occasion all across the world. Is it all across the world? I don't think it's just in America, right? I don't know where the hell they do it. Do they do it in other countries? I don't even know. But anyway, so today I figure we dive into some interesting tidbits of information regarding Groundhog Day, because you guys know how important it is to know whether we're going to get an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter. And of course, they drag this animal out of a hole in the ground and hold it up and say that makes that so. So it's a pretty interesting concept. For everything that they wanted to tell us about, with the fake pandemic and everything, and science, and believe the science, right? Oh, science. How about all those people? I follow the science. I follow the science. Are these the same people that, follow the groundhog when they just pull like an animal out of the ground and hold it up and say, okay, here's our prediction? I'm saying it's like so crazy. It just shows you, the duality of or the hypocrisy is really more so the word I should use, of our mainstream structures and how they be, So anyway, it's just kind of funny, because the same people that would accept Groundhog Day, even though they probably think, it's just for fun, but accept it in a sense, are the same ones that are going, trust the science, because really Groundhog Day is kind of a goofy concept. And what the hell are we doing? Like, what's the purpose of this? Like, February 2nd, pull an animal out of the ground, and, why is it got to be a groundhog? Can't it be a cow or something else? Why can't we use, I think there's just like the poor trans people that are trying to beat up women in the sports, we have to give those people a break. They're looking for a place to be, right? So same thing with these other animals. Why is the groundhog getting all the attention? This is some sort of systemic racism within the animal community, right? Because there's no other animals that can be a part of Groundhog Day but groundhogs, which is quite unfair, because there's a lot of animals out there, with a similar size. It's something really to think about here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do on Operation Status Quo. We're thinkers. We're using our brains all the time. All right, so here we go. Meteorologists have had it rough in the Hudson Valley. Of course, with the temperatures and such, but instead of looking into the skies for their forecast, they should follow the lead of one furry fellow in Pennsylvania, and they keep their eyes to the ground, right? So first established by Germans in America in 1887, Groundhog Day was actually inspired by Europe's Candlemas Day, during which clergymen would bless the candles they needed for the cold season. If the candles brought a sunny day, there would be 6 more weeks of winter. Conversely, clouds and rain signified that winter would end soon. So went all the way back to Germany. They went from candles to groundhog. Follow. Aren't you following the science? Don't you see how this makes sense? Candles, groundhogs. Obviously, they're in the same realm, okay? All right, anyway, nowadays, thousands gather at Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, to wait for an aptly named groundhog to emerge with his verdict, the validity of which, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, is questionable. Okay, so, we do have the authorities. They're overseeing this situation. They are saying we are looking to the groundhog for information, but it is questionable. We can't give it 100% guarantee, but we do want to talk to this groundhog and see what he has to say, right? And make sure that we're on the same page. So statistically speaking, it's more likely that Punxsutawney Phil will see his shadow than not. From 1887 to 2022, Phil has seen his shadow 106 times and only overlooked it 20 times. So mysteriously, there are 10 years where no records of Phil's predictions exist at all. Ooh, so what's the conspiracy there? What was going on those 10 particular years that we couldn't know what Punxsutawney Phil had to say about whether winter would continue or we would get an early spring? Very, very interesting. See, I'm telling you, our whole mainstream world is just a facade, and we don't know, and they pick and choose when they want to use things for their benefit. So I'm sure if we go back in time and look into those winters, we'd probably find some quite the peculiar information. Something to think about. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So to get in the spirit of Groundhog Day ahead of this year's prediction, weather, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's just say we're getting into the nitty gritty. Here are some facts, some 10, they say there's 10 of them. So let's see what we go through here. 10 fun facts about the holiday. It's a holiday. Didn't you know that? What do you do to celebrate Groundhog Day? All right. It's like, remember that Simpsons episode when they had the snake whacking day and they all will go around and, beat snakes with sticks? maybe that's what it'll turn into. Maybe the world is so uptight and agitated right now. If Pugsatoni comes out and predicts 6 more weeks of winter, he might get his ass beat, right? It's like people say, you know what? That's just the last damn straw. This effing groundhog comes out. I can't take it anymore. I know. We're not going to do a winner. No, Pugsatoni. We're not going to do it. We're not listening to you. That's for darn sure. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. We're not going to take it. No, we're not going to take it. We're not going to take it anymore. All right, hold on. I got to go back to my over here because that mad crowd, they just go on and on. When they start complaining, forget about it. They never stop. I'm sorry, I got a little itch on my nose. Maybe I'm gonna get into a fight with Pugsatoni Phil. Come here, you crazy little groundhog. I got you, you little son of a bitch. All right, let's see. So here we go. Our 10 facts of Groundhog Day. So Pugsatoni Phil is the official groundhog forecaster on February 2nd, but many states have their own. Did you know that New York Staten Island has Chuck? It's New York Staten Island Chuck. That's his name. So Chuck is some like fraudulent groundhog out there. It's like, if you're a success in a business, any kind of thing, right? And that people copy your idea and try to do their own same things. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what was that episode of, oh no, it was one of the, back when I used to watch the court shows. I think it might have been Judge Maybelline or something, one of those. I'll never forget. The guy ran a food truck and he had a signature item, and the girl that worked in the food truck with him then took that item and kind of altered it just enough, right? And created her own food truck. And so he took her to court over the recipe, and unfortunately he lost because the judge said that it tasted differently. So, the poor guy got screwed. He's just trying to start a business, and look what happened. It's not fair. It's just not fair. All right, so we know about Pugsatoni, right? Okay, let's see here. Phil's full name. You okay? Phil's full name, granted by the Pugsatoni Groundhog Club, is Pugsatoni Phil, seer of seers, sage of sages, procrastinator of procrastinators, and weather prophet extraordinaire. So that's what his official name is. It must be a pain in the ass for him to sign checks, and to do any kind of legal paperwork. I'm sure all it takes is one little spelling error, and it's a whole problem. He probably loses the title to his home in the ground, because he has like a spelling error on the name. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't say seer of seers here on this, and he's like, you know what I'm saying? Trying to explain himself. He's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm a goddamn groundhog. I just want to stay and be left alone. Could you stop dragging me out of the ground every February 2nd? I want to apologize for using the Lord's name in vain. I usually don't do that. It slipped out. So I would take a moment here to say, Lord, I'm sorry for disrespecting you by saying the GD word. And to all my listeners out there who may have been horribly offended by that comment. So I do apologize. I'm better off using the F word, right? For goodness sake. Okay. All right. Anyway, groundhogs typically weigh between 12 and 15 pounds, which is pretty good, right? If you think about it, if you know you're going to have an extra long winter, you take the groundhog, you gut them, and you got a meal. You got, 12, 15 pounds. It's going to last you for a little while. If you're by yourself, you got a family, it's a good 3 meals probably, right? For the family. So groundhogs only live 6 to 8 years, but folklore suggests that Phil sips an elixir of life that extends his lifespan by 7 years with each sip. So apparently Phil is a groundhog that defies the laws of defies the laws of physiology, and he's like 100-year-old groundhog, So here, I'm just going to say this, Phil, no disrespect, but if you have this elixir of life that you're sipping on that extends your life every 7 years with every sip, don't you think it's nice to maybe share it with some of your human friends? All right. I mean, we make you a star like this. You're a big celebrity all over the place for predicting what's going to happen with the rest of the winter. And there you go. Just sipping on your elixir of life all by yourself, and not sharing it with everyone else. Maybe we want to be around for a while to watch your predictions for millennia to come. Right. So just something, again, we're just thinking here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do on Operation Status Quo. We think about things. Nothing ever happens, but we think about things. We think about things happening. And maybe one day, if we think about it enough, something will happen. That's the beautiful part of Operation Status Quo. So the Germans originally chose a hedgehog as their animal forecaster. They turned to groundhogs instead when they discovered a large amount of them in Pennsylvania, hence Groundhog Day. So now we know the whole thing is a sham in itself. First it was candles, then it was hedgehogs, now it's groundhogs. I mean, how much more are we going to depreciate from the original essence of what this day meant and how important it is to humanity? I mean, you know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? It's just how they just do it all the time. Just like what they do with football, changing all the rules all the time. You can't hit somebody. You can't lead with the helmet. You can't hit somebody laid out of bounds. Always changing the rules to make it a little softer on everyone. All right. And hibernation is similar to being in a coma. I feel like I'm in a constant state of hibernation if that's the case. When groundhogs hibernate, their heart rates drop to 5 beats per minute and their body temperature decreases dramatically. I mean, that would be what hibernation is. So that's what's going on. The groundhog is in hibernation. He's basically in a coma, and then they drag him out. I keep saying this, like this poor groundhog, right? I mean, he doesn't want to be bothered. It's freaking winter. He's hibernating. But no, we're going to drag him out. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to mess up his whole metabolism and everything that's going on, make him think that maybe it's spring, but then it's not. And then he has to start the whole hibernation process over again. And if he goes like, for a certain amount of time, he might be late, because he didn't get his full hibernation process done, in its proper continuity. He may have to then, continue to get the rest of what he needs out of the hibernation, which may lead him hibernating until like June or July, and he misses the whole freaking summer. I mean, that's not right. Let's see here. The Punxsutawney Groundhog Club hosts a 3-day celebration each year for Groundhog Day. So if you'd like to go up to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania and celebrate Groundhog Day, you can go up there. I'm sure it's a lot of fun. I should do that sometime, actually. That would be kind of a fun thing to do. Now that I think about it, for such a, frivolous event, it'd be nice to do. I mean, I went up to Stamford, Connecticut to be in the audience of the Steve Wilkos show one time. That was a trip. I always love my Jerry Springer, I have to say. So, but Jerry wasn't really doing the shows then. So, you go the next best thing, Steve Wilkos. So that was kind of fun. So I went to Stamford, Connecticut for that. So why not go to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and check out Groundhog Day? That would be fun. Okay, the popular movie, of course, we all know the movie Groundhog Day, which starred Bill Murray, gave meaning to the phrase Groundhog Day to repeat something over and over again. So the movie itself, with the utilization of the holiday of Groundhog Day, gave birth to the concept of doing something over and over again. Okay, so, and it's funny how that movie is, right? It's really interesting about our lives, right? You kind of stay, we go deep here on Operation Status Quo. You stay in that same cycle until you have the realizations and make the changes. And you saw what happened with Bill Murray, until he was able to soften his heart and see things from another perspective, and let go of the ego. He was stuck in Groundhog Day. And that's like the people that are in the Matrix right now who still believe in our mainstream structures. It's the same type of thing. You're just stuck on the hamster wheel. In this case, you're stuck on the groundhog wheel just over and over again until you're able to open your mind and expand and see different perspectives. And then boom, a whole nother world opens up, right? Okay. I've got a few more here, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we here? While groundhogs have their 15 minutes of fame each February, many farmers consider them pests for the rest of the year. They are herbivores, typically eating fruits, grasses, plants, and even tree bark. So the farmers don't like them because they're eating the plants, which shows what really technically, not to get into that too much, but, we really probably should be doing the same. So it shouldn't be a big deal. We should just be, the earth grows all this stuff, and we could be nibbling on trees, and the groundhog could be next to us nibbling on trees, and we'd all be more than fully sustained for what we need for our nutritional needs. But instead, there's the Oreos, and there's the Doritos, and there's the Frito-Lays, and and all that other Cheese Whiz, and all the crap that makes you dead. You don't see groundhogs asking for a jar of Cheese Whiz, right? You know what I'm saying? They eat plants, fruits, and vegetables. So just like elephants, right? Elephants aren't looking for the nearest McDonald's while they're walking around over there in Africa. Okay. All right, here we go. Last one. According to ABC News, well, let's all just take a breath and go with this with a grain of salt. According to ABC News, the National Climatic Data Center found that there is no correlation between Phil's prediction and the actual weather forecast. Oh my God, do you think It took ABC News and new research with the National Climatic Center to say that there's no correlation between his prediction and what actually goes on in the weather. My mind is blown. My mind is blown, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Heyo. Thank you, Ayo. A little late on that, but thank you anyway. So what's your prediction, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to go to it because it already happened. More wintry weather or blue skies and sunshine? Well, I have it right here because Phil already did his business today. And Friday, February 2nd, 2024, that's today, ladies and gentlemen, minutes before the Groundhog came into the light to predict whether we'll see 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring. Punxsutawney Phil brought cheers. He brought cheers to the crowd as he then came out and predicted an early spring is in store for us this year. Ladies and gentlemen, an early spring. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming, early spring. Early spring. Everybody loves an early spring. Hey-o. But please remember that there is no direct correlation between Phil's prediction and what will actually happen. Please keep that in mind. I have to make that disclaimer here. I don't want to be sued, or be labeled on YouTube as a deliverer of misinformation. So that's what we got for you here today on Operation Status Quo. It's Groundhog Day. Get out there and go do something fun while you still can. If you're seeing this late, celebrate it late. Who cares? If you're seeing this tomorrow, next week, who cares? Celebrate it. Go celebrate it. Go kiss a groundhog and have yourself a great time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for your time here today on Operation Status Quo, as I always do. I really do appreciate you being here. And don't forget, your participation is welcome. So feel free to contact me. My contact information is in the description box below. If you have some ideas you'd like me to share, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So all you got to do is reach out and touch someone. You know what I'm saying? And that someone is me. But we don't have to touch, because I understand the way of the world today. It's very awkward for a human being to touch, look, speak to, or anything a fellow human being, right? All right. So anyway, I said, I don't know what I said, but if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share. Send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. God bless you. For goodness sake, God bless you. Have a great weekend. Until Monday, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.